right, next question. Ghost 1800 asks, what is an area in Star Citizen gameplay you feel needs to be filled in? And how much do you think CIG should go about it? Or how do you think they should be about it? Like ships, equipment, gameplay, mechanics, etc. Tomat?
Crafting. Crafting, cooking.
Everything.
Everything?
Yeah.
There's no one specifically you can think of?
Data running.
Data running? Okay. How would you...
there's a lot of stuff missing from the game. Every part of the game that exists right now needs work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even the stuff that's more finalized, like mining and salvage, also needs work. So, Tree?
Medical gameplay.
Oh, of course. How would you fix it, though? Like, how would you go and fill it in?
By adding NPC rescue squads.
Rescue squads?
Yeah.
Rescue squads, I think, and rescuees. People we have to go and rescue.
Yeah, and NPC rescue missions. The fact that medical gameplay is entire player to player. There is no PvE content. That's a big problem because everything else, if you're mining, well, that's PvE content. If you're hauling, that is PvE content. If you're salvaging, there is PvE content. Combat can be PvE versus PvP, but there is the medical profession, which is meant to be one of the most important professions in the game, per Tony Z, and one of the most flexible, is extremely lacking because it's only player to player, and that's a problem. But the other part is there's no NPC interaction in terms of if you're playing solo, you are hosed if you need medical support, unless someone from MedRunners is online, and even then, it's a long wait, and it shouldn't be a long wait. There's no reason that Stanton shouldn't have an ambulance 5 minutes away from anywhere you're at in Stanton. That would be like saying you're in Dallas, Texas, and you got to wait 30 to 45 minutes for someone to show up when you call 911. No.
But these giant facilities, like these the distribution centers, no way they don't have a first aid. Like there should be an NPC in the building.
Yeah. I would say transport. People transport.
Oh, like people transport?
Yeah, people transport.
Yeah. Genesis Starliner.
Because we have the Genesis Starliner and that's it. We need to have... And the E1.
We don't even have that.
But we don't have that in game.
We don't even have it.
We don't even have either of those in game.
Yeah.
But we need the starter transport. We need the shuttle mission, shuttle things. We need missions. That's one of those that just literally just doesn't exist. It is on paper. It is not even a
freelancer variant.
It's not even
it isn't even a player to. It's barely a player to player thing. It would really just be I pay you to go here, and you can set up a beacon. But that's so.
But the chances of you just getting shot on site is just so high.
Too high.
Who uses it?
Yeah. So
you can't go to a space station and pick up passengers waiting at the docking terminal. They can't walk onto your ship, and it's automated by the gameplay system that does the contract. And honestly,
it's one of the biggest affronts to the current game because all the spaceports have the dedicated doorway for commercial flights.
It's clear that it wants to be a thing. There's a lot to it, but I think Space Man would kind of hit it correctly. It's just there's everything needs work. Everything needs work. Nothing is done. And what's one of the reasons why I'm excited for server meshing is mostly because when it's done, there's not an excuse anymore. Yep. CIG can't hide behind we need very basic technical additions. No, you don't. You're done. This is the game. Once static server meshing comes in, it's not going to fundamentally change the game when you turn on dynamic. It's just as cost saving. There is no 5.0. Yeah.
We go from 4 to 1.
Yeah. CIG's even moving that direction. So it's all right, let's go. Yeah. I want to see crack the whip on Elliot. Be like, let's more missions, Elliot. More missions.
I know it's a meme, and I don't know if they'll do this or because they've been bitten by this before. They probably will do a not concrete in any way, but the 2017 road to 1.0, I kind of think that's kind of what they're going to do for CitizenCon again, because that's where we're at. And they're not necessarily road to, but these are the features that we want in before 1.0. but that's kind of what 2017 was as well. Except they had dates on them in 2017. I think it's just going to be basically, here's the giant list of things that we're going to put in before 1.0.
Yeah.
By in 3 years.
So it's a good question there from Knowledge. Like, so server meshing is going to fix the big emptiness of the universe? No. But it will no longer be the excuse as to why there's the giant emptiness of the universe, because once they have that technology in, the servers, the AI should be able to navigate between servers easier, which means that they can start adding more stuff in there. And because of, things we've talked about this already, like,
after 4.0, they're going to hire Todd Harrow to explain why there's emptiness in the server.
Yeah. 16 times the detail.
No, they're supposed to be boring. That's what space. God dang it.
Use dead. But yeah, we even talked about this. Like, they can increase POI because they can the servers.
And they said way
smaller.
back when they put in caves, like, hey, we just don't have the server overhead to add as many caves. They had like 1/10 of the caves they wanted per planet or something.
Yeah. Same with like rivers and that kind of thing.
Yeah, rivers and outposts, and like they've been talking a lot about they wanted like a distribution center. And then like a cluster of outposts under like perimeter, low ways out in drivable distances with like roads connecting them.
They have some of that, but not all of them. There is, if you do box missions, you can drop off boxes at little outposts which have roads.
The security posts, but like a little bit farther away. They're thinking like actual like the outposts we had before them. Around in a sort of community like style. Yeah, like suburbs. Not all owned by the same DC.
Where everyone lives, where then they commute to the to the DC to work, kind of thing.
And honestly, like they don't have habs there.
No.
I don't know what their plan is, but we haven't seen any habs in the building. And I want to know where they plan on these people. Either we need to see the traffic of them commuting, or we need to see the habs. Like where are the people who work here coming from?
All right, we've got 6 questions, and I want to make sure before Space Tomato passes out on stream, because it's like 3:00 in the morning for him.
I got a 10-hour drive in 5 hours.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So we'll go through this real quickly. This is a really easy one. UseDead says, will CIG build their own in-house server stack for their game as a cost-saving measure? No, you have no idea how expensive that is. No. That is so expensive.
We talked about how personnel are the biggest expense. That's a lot of personnel.
Yeah.
And a lot of time.
Because you have to hire people
you can't scale that up and down.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of server meshing, is scaling it up and down based off demand.
Yeah.
These 2 questions are kind of connected, so I'm going to sort of connect them. Deliner asks, CIG's official explanation for the jump point at ATC is to help regulate traffic through the jump point with increasing player and eventually AI counts on shards and potential for them to congregate around one point like a spaceport or a space station. Could we see the same queuing ATC or something similar for these other locations in terms of like landing stuff?
Absolutely will.
You will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that like
it already?
We just don't have the throughput, but isn't that what they already do?
Yeah. They say please wait for another thing, and then it'll. I mean, we don't have a visual indicator of when they land though. So.
Yeah.
I promise you, as a way to mitigate pad ramming and prevent absolute chaos around space stations and landing zones with increased player and increased NPC counts, you're going to get routed. You're going to have speed limitations.
Routed, like the landing tunnels we had?
It will be a gamified version of what ATC does in real life.
We're going.
Reduce speed to this. Follow this path.
Landing
tunnels.
tunnels.
One reason I like the tunnels. It made sense.
Yeah, that's what they're coming back.
Awesome,
Mark my words.
Like it made sense.
Coming back.
Because like you can't just like, oh, I'm free to go. I'm just gonna go ram into the ATC building.
Can you imagine Area 18 when they have AI trying to fly around and then like upping the server count to like say 200 people and you have Invictus there?
Plus NPCs.
Plus NPCs. Like
everybody complains about ships, getting run into stuff as they exit stations and blowing up and leaving wrecks there. Yep. Imagine if you were able to do whatever the F you want around a massive space station, flying around with all this other NPC traffic, with the chaos that would be there.
Yeah.
And honestly,
it would be an absolute minefield.
It will also move players
regulated.
It will also move players away from the spaceports themselves, because we'll have player hubs and hubs where we can land away from the space station itself. So why would you try and land a hub if you have a house there, or maybe incentive to get a house there, so you can have a kind of more express route somewhere else.
Yeah, especially if you like say they do the like internals where you can like land at your home rather than the spaceport and park your ship inside a high rise in Area 18 and then take off from there. So you don't have to bother with ATC because you could just deal with your own stuff. It's a lot.
It's one of the biggest things I'm waiting for this CitizenCon is an update on building interiors.
Building interiors, procedural generation stuff.